This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. I hope everyone's having a good time today. It's a wonderful, beautiful weekend. Beautiful, beautiful morning this morning in Florida. I mean, it was in the 70s, beautiful out, but of course it got hot again. Just had to ruin the day and get hot. Let's go ahead and bring on our co-host, Mr. DolFan Winters.
What's going on, brother? How you doing today? What's going on with you?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. God gave me another day. That's all I could ask for.
Amen to that, definitely.
How are you doing?
I'm great. It's beautiful here in Philadelphia. I'm still here at work. It's 83, 5-mile-an-hour breeze, but the heat is coming back. So starting Monday, the heat and humidity will be coming back to Philadelphia. So it was beautiful while it lasted, but, you know, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah. So how much you caught, what, the first half of the game, basically?
So I put the first half and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, and then I crashed. Like, after that, my body was like, you're going to sleep.
Yeah, I trust me, I understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
I could do that right now, as a matter of fact.
I believe it.
I didn't get to sleep till after midnight last night, and then was up at 5:30 this morning, and of course, not sleeping in my own bed, you don't sleep very well.
Right.
And I didn't have anything to drink to put me out, so.
Understandable.
So I want to hear your opinion on the first half.
The first half, I mean, so just with the fact of the matter, it was a lot of people that were trying to make the team second string first. It was like you had a couple first stringers that were on the starting roster years before, but you had some second stringers, your third stringers, and undrafted free agents out there. And I'll be honest with you, I did see some good work from some people out there. Like I keep telling everybody, it's preseason. I'm not going to look deep into preseason. I like the fact that he went on fourth down a few times due to the scenarios, because he wanted to see how the quarterbacks and the team would perform in different scenarios. So I did enjoy that. I did like that. It was a good exercise for the guys. We're in trouble for backup QB. I have faith in Skyler, but Mike White is not the one. He's just not it. You know.
They took him out before the end of the first quarter, and he never came back.
He never came back, and I can see why. It's a shame that it's going to be people that you feel that should make this team that might not make this team, and it's just a business decision. I don't think it's the fact that they don't like him or the gentleman's performances or whatever. We have a lot of talent to decide, who the 53 men going to be for the 2024 Miami Dolphins this season. And it's a good problem to have. It's going to be a shame that some of these men might go to the practice squad or go to other franchises and flourish there. But it's a business, and it's fully understandable, and it's totally understandable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was Skyler did very well yesterday, actually.
Right.
There was a few people that, to me, didn't seem to do as well last night as well as they did the week before. Storm Duck. I didn't see as much out of him last night. I mean, he was out there, and I seen him, and he missed some good plays, but he made some good plays, but it just wasn't as prevalent as the week before.
Right.
The biggest thing I liked out of last night, and I wish there was some people in here that might have watched the game and stuff. Third quarter, we dominated third quarter with time of possession.
Right.
What's up, Shake?
What up, Shake? How you doing, brother?
We dominated the third quarter with time of possession. I think we had third quarter. I think we had almost 12 minutes altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got the ball, and by the time we scored, it was like, I think almost 10 minutes had passed by the time we scored.
Right.
So I like seeing that we controlled the time. We ran, I really liked the control of the game, because that quarter we controlled the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing that, and I know he's trying to make some big plays, but Skyler was trying to force that ball in a couple of spots. He could have had a lot more interceptions than that one. Right. Which was actually in the fourth quarter, trying to make a play to get us back, in another scoring drive, but threw an interception, and that pretty much ended the game at that point. You really saw who wanted to play, who wanted to make the team.
Right. But like we both discussed it, we've discussed plenty of times on here where it's going to be some surprises. It's going to be some surprises. Definitely. What's going on, Joe Riz? So there's going to be some surprises on who makes this team and who does not make this team. So,
yeah, I mean, for instance, Malik Washington had a great night last night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, reception-wise and run-wise.
Needham had a great night. He had about good 5-6 tackles. So, and they were solid tackles.
See, I missed the first probably 8 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic and everything, and we got a late start, and
right.
So I missed the first, and that's probably a good portion of where Needham played was the first quarter. I don't not Storm Duck. Chop Robinson. He was in there, and he made some good plays, but I didn't hear his name. Of course, when you're at an opposing team, you don't hear stuff like you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it a little bit more difficult in some ways.
Right.
When you're trying to keep track of your guys, and you're listening, you're watching, but you're listening, and I'm terrible with remembering some of the players' numbers and stuff, especially a lot of the new players.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that Chop is 44,
right?
Because he took Blake Ferguson's old number, which Blake had no problem giving it to him.
Right.
I can't see. Here's another one. I was just thinking of a guy I seen quite a bit last night. I got to look up his name, who it is. Number 47.
Is that the boy Rossi?
Rucci, yes.
Yeah, Rucci.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who that is. He had a good night last night.
Yes, he did. I was seeing him flying all over the place. So yeah,
yes.
Did. There was a gentleman on the defense, Pisi. Big boy, big. He's big, and he was plowing through. Trust and believe.
You sure it wasn't Pilly?
Pilly, my bad, Pilly.
Yeah. He was all over the place. Yeah.
Oh
but
man, I like him.
He's one we had him last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the practice squad, but he did get pulled up to the team a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Pilly. He's a big body, which
Yes, he
what
is.
I like. But he's a little, I don't know, something about him was a little bit off for me on a couple of the plays.
Mm-hmm.
He did get hurt one time, and I don't know how bad it ended up being.
Right.
That one hit, oh my God, that one hit Malik Washington took.
Oh, man. And I mean, here's the thing, though. The thing is, I can't get mad at the defender on that. I just can't. He caught the ball. The defender's coming. There's no way you can stop.
Oh, yeah,
Going
no. It was good. And it wasn't Pilly is number 96.
Okay.
47 is W. Ray.
Right. Okay.
He's a linebacker, and he was all over out there.
Right.
I seen him quite a bit out there. Yeah, 49 is Rucci. 49 is Rucci.
Okay.
Hooked up Joe, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us. It was just a good game. It was a good battle last night. It wasn't a runaway by any means by either team, really.
Right.
And you got to look. They had their first string quarterback out there for the first series and stuff, which they showed up. He showed up and did his job, and that's what he's supposed to do.
What's going on, Toby fans? Yeah, because I've seen that they had their first. They had Baker out there real quick, and I knew two or none of those guys were playing yesterday. I knew that for a fact, because they want everybody fresh and ready to go week 1 against the Jags.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yes, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah, if you guys out there, anyone wants to join up on the panel, the link's out there. I'll drop it even again, so it's right there current.
I'm probably going to stay on here. I'm probably staying on here until about 6:50 because I still got to lock my kitchen up.
No problem. I understand. You're a working man. Someone's got to pay the taxes because I sure don't. my disabled ass.
Shoot, the way I feel a little disabled with this ankle, man. Sheesh.
Your ankle bothering you a lot?
Man, listen, it always bothers me when I work long days. When I work my regular days, I'm usually fine. But what it is it's been chilly here like the last week. So once the temperature goes down a little bit, it gets aggravated. So I just think it's coming from old age and all the crazy dancing I've been doing all my life. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah. No, there's going to be some surprise cuts. I honestly, there was a play that it was a low throw.
Right.
But it was in his hands.
Are you talking about that first? Was that the 4th down for Tampa Bay?
No.
Are you talking about the play for us?
A play for us.
Okay.
And it was Jody Fortson.
Yeah, I remember that play.
And I'm like, that could be the end of his career right there, for making the 53 anyway.
I know.
Because it was in his hands.
I know exactly what play you're talking about because it was close to the sideline.
Yeah.
The defender was in front of him. It was in his hands, and I guess he heard them footsteps and he dropped it.
Well, that's where the defender had fallen or tripped up in something.
Yeah.
If he would have caught it, he could have been gone with it.
I know.
And I don't know what happened, but because even my son-in-law that was with me, God bless him, he's a Bucs fan, but he had a good time. We had a good time. Mm-hmm. I could not be a season ticket holder at Buck Stadium though. Those seats are so close together, Saul. I felt like I was sitting in his lap almost. I really did. I mean, I felt like I was sitting in his lap. It was so just luckily the people that were sort of next to us left after halftime and stuff, so I was able to spread out a little bit.
Good. Yeah, man. Listen, they don't build those seats. They don't build those seats for big people like ourselves. They just don't.
And he's a big kid himself. He's I think like 5'10" and about 255. So
Right.
He's not a little kid. And we're like overlapping each other. And it was just so uncomfortable. And I'm like, I don't think Miami Dolphins Stadium are that close.
Right.
I don't know. I haven't sat in the regular seats in quite a while.
I'll be honest with you. No, they're not, because I've been on the 100 level, and I've been up to 300 level, and I've been in a section with you. So no, they're not. So yeah.
And I have some of the best seats because we have cushion seats that are individualized, and we don't have to be on top of one another.
Not at all. Not at all. And and you're on the shaded side too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's gonna be some fun times though this year.
Listen, I'm looking forward to it. I know the rest of Dolphin Nation is looking forward to it. I know the excitement is in the air to see what this team is going to do, because all of the stuff that we've been worried about has been taken care of. Now it's the tick 2 weeks from tomorrow. Week 1 is the beginning of the journey, the real journey. You know, so
I tell you what, I don't know who was playing with the Jacksonville-Atlanta game, but Jacksonville whooped up on Atlanta.
I heard
31-0.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our home opener. But there again, it's going to be a hot one.
It's going to be a hot one, and I mean, Doug Peterson is a proven coach. Trevor Lawrence. We had problems with Trevor Lawrence the last time we played him. So, the kid is definitely, what's the name? What else? Here we go. You want to answer that?
Who is one? I think McGowan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Storm Duck is going to end up on the practice squad, possibly.
He might make the team.
He might make the team. Either way, I hope they develop some. It's hard to say because, like you said, we have so many good players.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever makes the practice squad, I hope they can develop into something more over the next year or so.
Shoot, if they make it to the practice squad, they might get snatched up by somebody else.
Well, they'd have to get snatched up before making it to the practice squad.
Well, that's true.
Because it's 24 or 48 hours they have when they're waived before we can actually put them on the practice squad.
I think something like that, yes.
And then, of course, there's a trade deadline after that stuff. So,
I mean, Patrick Paul might be on the practice squad. You never know, because I don't see him starting right away because they still want to work with him. He's still raw. You know what I mean?
But I don't see him going to they're going to make him part of the 53-man roster, I believe, all because of the fact that they don't want someone to get him.
Yeah, man.
Leonard Payne, he looked like he could do something. He was looking okay. Rucci, yes, we were talking about Rucci a little bit ago, Timothy. Rucci was all over the place last night. He was out there, yeah.
Right.
He will, if he makes a practice squad, yes, we'll definitely develop him. The big thing is, we have a good problem right now. As Stahl has said, we have a very good problem, and that's having a lot of quality players.
Right.
Matthew Jones, I'm not too familiar. You familiar with Matthew Jones, Saul?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, Timothy. I have no idea who Matthew Jones is.
Yeah, I heard of Payne. I know Rucci quite well. Yeah, John Featherland. Paul might play sooner than later. It's going to depend on Armstead's health too.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But the last thing you want is kind of wanting Paul getting in there a little too early, because that's a position that needs to be worked on. He needs to work on a lot of stuff. We got to remember it. I mean, the man is massive, but he has to work on his footwork and different things like that. Because these boys right here in the NFL, they're much faster than the young men that were in college. So
yeah. But either way, it's whether he plays sooner or later, he's got to develop. He one way or another, he's going to end up developing. Hopefully, knock on wood. We've all seen those certain picks that we like, and then they never develop into something.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I see. There's just so many good guys. I can't even imagine some of them being cut, and we know they're going to be.
Right.
But like I said, that one play last night, Jody Fortune we might end up with only a 3-man tight end instead of a 4-man tight end. Last year.
You know what's crazy about that? Just that scenario and that same type of scenario for a whole lot of players. That the same thing, a missed tackle or a missed assignment or a missed it or a missed that. It's the same thing for a lot of these players that we saw last night. So
yeah. Last year we only had 2 tight ends.
Right.
There's people say we're only going to go with 3 this year. There's some people that say 4. I'm looking more at 4 tight ends possibly. But right now, I don't know. It might only be 3 after last night.
You think about it. T. Hill, what's going on, EM? How you doing, brother?
What's up,
T. Hill
EM?
did very well. Janu, you got Janu and Smite. So, if they're going to run the rock, which I got a funny feeling we're going to have more of a balanced attack going into this season, because I think McDaniel has probably heard a lot, not just from analysts, but from the fan base and probably people on his coaching staff. Listen, for this system to work, you have to have somewhat of an efficient running game. And that's something that we will do.
And that's where I really liked the third quarter.
Right.
The third quarter, we dominated the time of possession, the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
We were basically neck and neck in time of possession at halftime. I think Bucs actually had 2 more minutes than we did.
Correct.
So it's basically neck and neck. What do you want, girl? By the end of the third quarter, we were had 8 more minutes than they did in time of possession. So that's a big jump, going from 2 minutes down to being 8 minutes up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that was my best thing I liked about the game, is the time of possession. It really, for us, because we got the ball after halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was only 4 minutes left, 4, maybe 5 minutes left in the quarter when we scored.
Right.
So it basically took us 10 or 11 minutes to score.
Right.
That means we had almost a whole quarter for our defense to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And their defense was out on the field.
And now, that's good. That's good with the backups. That's really good.
And if it would have been a, let's say, real game,
mm-hmm.
and our defense could have gotten out there and stopped that, got us the ball back, put the Bucs 3 and out.
Right.
Their defense would have been back out there and would have been really tired at that point already.
Right.
And that's what we need to see. And that's what I liked about that last night.
Right.
Oh, John, I think most definitely we're only going to have 2 quarterbacks at this point. If Mike White doesn't get picked up, he will end up on the practice squad.
Right.
What's up, Tim the Fin Man?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How everybody doing today? How everybody doing?
Good,
Good,
man. How are
good.
you?
Good. So, what's somebody on our roster that on a bubble that after the preseason game we had, you think they solidified their spot?
They solidified their spot?
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
tough one. Because, I mean, we have 9 cornerbacks, and we're only going to keep 6, maybe 7. Nick Needham, I think, solidified his spot. I think he could have been on the bubble in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I love Nick as a player and as a person, don't get me wrong. But I think because he is versatile, he really solidified his spot. There's some that I think could have lost their spot. It's a possibility.
that's a good point too. Good point.
There's a possibility Jody Forson lost his spot last night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a possibility a few people might have lost their spots last night. You know,
it's tough. It's tough to say.
Right.
Tyndall, I heard Tyndall's name a lot last night, but it didn't seem like it was a big impact to me. And that's my opinion.
Okay, I think like once the first quarter was over and the beginning of the second quarter, it was like he was making like 5 or 6 plays back to back by himself. It was like Tyndall this, Tyndall that. I'm like, oh snap! I was getting fired up hearing that, man.
Right.
But that's I want to hear that for the longest.
And he could have solidified his spot last night. Truly, he could have. To me, and like I said earlier, talking with Winners, is that when you're at an away game, you hear the name, but you don't hear it like if it was a home game. So it's
that's true. That's
trying
true.
to recognize things and see what's going on. It's a little bit different. Michael Winners, how you doing out there, brother? But I do like Tyndall as a player. He very well could have solidified his spot. He was all over. And I know the fourth quarter, I heard his name quite a bit in the fourth quarter.
I fallen asleep on after the second quarter, to be honest. Then I wake up and saw the replay.
So did y'all.
Yeah.
You sound like me. I went to sleep at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. So
I didn't even make it up to third.
And see, in the third quarter, because I was at the game. I was at the game last night, and to me, the third quarter was the best quarter of what I saw. I missed about half the first quarter because we got there late. The third quarter, I loved it because of our time of possession, how we dominated the time of possession in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, we truly dominated from the time of kickoff because we received the ball until we scored. When we scored, there was only maybe 5.5 minutes at the most left in the quarter when we scored. So we had the ball for almost a whole 10 minutes.
I like hearing stuff like that, man. That gets you fired up.
It does, because when you dominate the time of possession, you're dominating the game.
Right.
And I mean, it's like when we scored, if our defense could have came out and did a 3-and-out with them, if it was, if it was a primary game, a real game, whatever you want to call it, a regular season game, their defense would have been back out on the field after only having a few minutes of rest.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
12 tackles for Tyndall.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. Yeah, Tyndall.
What's up, Lewis?
Yes, Lewis. Tyndall earned his spot. How you doing, brother? Join us on the panel if you want. we got a half hour left of the show. It was a good game last night. I mean, they started off with their first string quarterback and first string players and stuff on some of them. We started off with nothing,
Yeah.
So you expect them to come out scoring like they did.
So, question: who do you think will have the most receiving yards on our team? I'm going Jalen Waddle.
That should be interesting. I'm going to say this: don't sleep on Janu Smith. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to double Tyreek a lot, and they know what Waddle can do, and you know what OBJ can do. But I wouldn't be. I mean, Tua's new blanket might be Janu Smith. It really is, because he can be a mismatch for a lot of linebackers and corners.
I can see that. I can see Tua throwing for 5,000 yards a season as well.
He could easily. I mean,
he admitted in his interview that they were working on trying to get Hill that 2,000 yards. And that's what's funny. No one ever brung that up about the interview that Tua admitted that they were working with Hill trying to get him that 2,000 yards until he got injured.
Well,
and just for him, in my opinion, just for him saying that, I feel like we won't be doing that no more, because we were still trying to do that. I don't think he would come out and say that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to try it anymore either. So Jonnu Smith could be a sleeper, but you know what's going to be, and I'm going to throw this out there, because it's going to come down to the yak,
right?
Yards after catch, and the way I watched him bowl over a player, Julian Hill.
Yeah, he a big man.
Yeah.
That's a big man.
Rucci too, though. Man, I hope we keep Rucci in our practice squad, man. Like, Rucci get you fired up, bro.
He was all over the place last night. Yeah.
No, it's speed and talent all over this offense. The key thing is protecting Tua. That is the key thing. He had 58. Got touched 58 times, the fewest in the NFL. So it's not like the offensive line did not do a good job last season at all. They did a phenomenal. Coach Barry, and Paul will tell you this. I've always praised Coach Barry, because the first time I heard about Coach Barry was on the Fins tailgate, and just getting the information what they had with the Denver Broncos and some of the players, they didn't like them and stuff like that. And the first thing I was like, uh-oh. But then when he came to Miami and I seen what he was doing, and you got to think of the difficulties that he faced with all the injuries on the O-line, he put out literally 20 different type of lineups. He switched and just mixed everything up. And I'm going to tell you something. He did a very good job with these gentlemen on the O-line. So hopefully we can sit there and have the same success coming into this new year, because Tua can't be taking a lot. He can't be taking a lot of hits. He dropped them 20 pounds for a reason. So
I tell you what, though, when it was like with our backup quarterbacks, as soon as Thompson got out there, it was totally night and day.
Yes. Because I watched the replay this morning. I fell asleep on the game, but man, I wish I stayed up to see Skylar Thompson. I'll try to stay up, but man, it was electrifying to watch.
It was, and he had of course, of this preseason, he had his best scoring, his best PFF grade or whatever it is, PFA grade. He had 98.8, I think it was, is what his grade was,
which was really good.
And it was like when we scored that first touchdown or made this, or it might have been the first big pass play, and they said Skylar Thompson, and I looked at my son-in-law. He looked at me. He was like, "That's why."
I mean,
So-
Skylar can play. Skylar can play. It's not that nobody is not trying to give Skylar Thompson any credit, and he can ball out. But the problem is, I think for a lot of us, me included, if Tua goes down, we want to have some type of confidence going on for the rest of the season.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Now, I feel like Skylar can win you games. Now, I just feel like Skylar, it's all depending on how many games we're talking about and which opponents.
Look at the Mr.
married
Elvis
man.
himself.
What's going
Mr.
on?
Elvis himself.
Right?
Thank you
What's
very
going
much.
on? What's up,
What's up,
brother?
Shake Money?
What's going on?
How's
Doing
Mary
all right,
like
Shake?
you, brother?
Huh? She's at
How's
work.
Mary?
She's good.
Good.
Somebody's got to bring the money in, right, Shake?
Yeah. I'm the stay-at-home dad.
So what you got? What you got to say, Shake?
Oh man, I think Skylar Thompson cemented himself as number 2 yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that because they took White out, before the end of the first quarter, and he never came back.
Yeah.
And Skylar proved himself with this. I think he should have slid instead of diving on that one play. He already made the first down where he scrambled and ran.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's the heat of the moment and stuff. But he looked good. He actually looked good. The only thing is, as I told my son-in-law with Skylar, I said, he can be inconsistent. He can have a great game, and it showed because near the end he started getting a little wild, and that's where he threw the interception. And it was like there was one ball I thought it got tipped, but it wasn't even. No one's hand was even near it. It was just a wobbly throw.
Yeah,
and I don't know what happened. But either way, I think he solidified his QB2 status.
The question mark is who's going to be our QB3.
I hope we don't carry 3 quarterbacks. I hope we don't.
To be on the safe side, I really believe that we should definitely carry 3 quarterbacks because you never know. Because your quarterback option, if both quarterbacks get knocked out, will be a wide receiver.
CB83, we'd be glad to have you on, or if you want us on, hit us up.
CB? No, but the thing about it is, I think with the new rule that you could have a practice squad, you could elevate as your third emergency and won't count towards your roster.
53, yeah.
Okay.
So, well, and there again, it depends on if someone decides to, if we, don't put Mike White on the 53, if someone picks him up or not. I don't see it, but you never know.
So, question: y'all think Teron Armstead play the whole season this year?
Pray that he does. That's all you can do. We can pray that he does.
But you look at his history. When's the last time has he ever gone through a whole season uninjured?
I know.
I think he will. The only reason why I'm saying that because I remember early this offseason he came out his mouth and he said that it's the best he felt in a long time. And I feel like we're gonna use him different. I feel like if fourth quarter come and we up like 14 points, Patrick Paul coming in the game, he gonna be our closeout. And we're gonna just save Teron energy, make sure he don't get injured. And he don't got to play no useless minutes that he don't got to play. Could be wrong.
And I guess Lewis brought up Channing Tindall. He looked good this preseason.
Yeah, he did say Tindall solidified his spot on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I heard he was all over the fourth quarter. I don't really recall it. And like I said, being at an away game, you don't hear the names like you would at a home game. And but I did hear his name during the fourth quarter all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know it, as Michael Winter said, he had 12 tackles yesterday. So that's incredible, really.
Here's the thing, too. You have, and this is no shade at Campanelli. Campanelli was a pretty good linebackers coach. But the linebackers coach we have has a history of developing linebackers and young talent. He's been in the league a lot longer than Campanelli has. He has a longer track record than Campanelli does. He was a defensive coordinator. So, in essence, I think what Butch Berry did to the offensive line room, I think I can't remember the linebacker's name, but the linebackers coach is going to probably do the same thing. I could see them doing the same thing with our linebackers.
I can see that.
Developing linebackers, you know what I mean?
Okay, I got a question for you, Shake, because I know with TFTG and all that, you guys have talked about 53-man roster and all.
Mm-hmm.
How many tight ends do you think we're keeping?
I'd say 3 because Alec Ingold, can
the fullback.
Can be used as a tight end at times as well.
Right.
So then I'm probably correct in saying that with that drop ball that could have been big yardage or even a touchdown that Jody Fortson dropped last night could have put him off the 53.
Yeah. I got Durham Smith, Joni Smith, and Julian Hill is my 3.
Yeah.
See, but in my opinion, this is just strictly my opinion. I believe that this coaching staff doesn't make decisions on this roster what happens in the preseason games. I think it's more along the line what they do in practices and in the joint practices. Because let's face it, everything is vanilla. Everything is
right.
Not really going against good competition. So I think it's more on lines of the fringe guys. Were they there on time? They show up every practice. What's their memory like? You know what I mean? And things like that. How serious do they take practice? I think that's what's going to play more of a role in picking our roster than these preseason games. I think the preseason games is how we determine who's staying or not, but I think they're determined on practices and things of that nature.
Okay. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. When will we find out the 53-man roster? Next week?
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Tuesday. Yeah.
Everything's got to be turned in by Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time at the latest.
Okay. Sauce Snead is officially released.
Yeah.
That's all that.
I'm looking to see if Houston let go of John Mitchie, their receiver they got, because they got some good receivers over there. And I've been reading some reports that he could be the odd man out over there. He played with Tua.
But, we got some gentlemen that we just picked up in the draft. So,
Yeah.
I tell you what, one who's definitely solidified their spot, and as you know, even though we drafted them, it doesn't mean they solidified their spot just because we drafted them this year. But Malik Washington had a hell of a night.
Oh my gosh, yes, he's a dog. He is a dog. I mean, he take that big hit, and he was like, he had that mentality like, oh yeah, you want to hit me? I'm gonna show you, I'm a dog.
Yeah, and I mean, he was just when he had that hit, it was a hell of a hit, good hit, clean hit. You just didn't expect him to come back like he did. He turned around
right.
That 40-yard run.
Yeah. That was one of those welcome to the NFL hits. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was like, I'm glad to be here.
Right.
Yeah. It was he was fun to watch last night because I mean, even with the kick returns and the punt returns he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I mean, Berrios could be out of a job.
Yes. Because he looked more electric on kick returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and from what I've gathered from intel, from what I've seen, Berrios was around. Berrios was around for our returner.
Right.
Not so much as a receiver, but they might end up keeping him because of our injuries small injuries we've had with some of our receivers already.
Right.
It's going to be really, really interesting come Tuesday.
I think our eyes are going to be glued to our phones to see who makes the 3-man roster. I'll be at work. I'm doing a double, so I know one of you guys will be sending me that shit in a messenger or my message or something. Somebody will be sending.
Yeah.
You know.
So who are you the most excited to see on offense come the regular season, start of the regular season?
Tua. Look, the key thing is Tua, and the reason why I'm saying I'm excited to see what Tua's going to do, because there is no more excuses. Both receivers paid. Him paid. O-line, we got a couple additions. We got some new additions at the wide receiver core. Chan gained 20 more pounds. You still got Mostert coming off a 22 touchdown season. You got, Janu Smith, a latest addition. You got some new toys, and we're gonna see what what improvement McDaniel does on the play calling and time management. So that is what Tua is the main thing. Tua. I'm not Tua near. I'm not Tua non, but it is Tua. That is the main person I want to see. Bro, listen, you said that people would be held accountable. Well, I want you to hold yourself accountable for all your gameplay from this season going forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how much control? Listen, if I know you love McDaniels and everything like that, but if you see a play that you know is not going to work, change the shit.
Correct.
Right. Halftime adjustments.
And that was a few plays last night, actually. I don't know if it was Skyler, the way he was doing the play. I could read the play. I knew what was going to happen, and we got stuffed every time.
Right.
There's 3 or 4 plays that I could just see and that I could see going on, what was going to happen. And when I can see what was going to happen, we ended up getting stuffed. And if I can see what's going on happen, anybody else can see what's going to happen.
My whole thing with this team is it starts off with the leader, and the leader is Tua. You want to be the leader. You're saying that you're leader. You're saying all the right things offensively. You gotta be that dude. Defensively is a question mark. We know what Weaver brings, but we got to see how it works for us. This is the 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years under the tutelage under Mike McDaniel. So we got to see what Weaver. He's saying the right things. The players love him. They love him. It's like night and day between Fangio and him. So the players are all they. So
to be fair, and Armar Kelly said this, and the players loved Vic Fangio in the beginning of the season. So
they did, and then they didn't like him as the season went on.
Well, I tell you what, I want to go back to answer your question. Who I'm looking most forward to seeing play? Who is my man from last year, and that's Devon Chan.
Yeah.
I when we drafted him, and these guys can tell you, I told everyone, keep an eye on this guy.
You ain't never lied.
And they're like, who? I'm like, Devon Chan. Keep an eye on him. I said, he's going to be something. He's got the moves. And when he started doing what he was doing, I actually picked him for O'Roy last year. It was his injuries that held him back. With him putting on that extra muscle and everything this year, he could. I actually only a small bet, but I put a bet on him for Offensive Player of the Year.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, because I feel like you're going to use him as a receiver this year.
He's going to be used all the way around this year. And they showed that in the preseason game last week when they were throwing some balls to him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing the other running back.
Wow,
Jalen
Jalen
Wright.
Right. Yep.
Oh man! Just by you mentioning him, it makes me excited. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do because he just runs like he shot out of a cannon. Like I'm like, wow. Like
He
you can see,
didn't have a great night last night or anything when he was
right?
out there running, but I blame that sort of on our O-line. Our O-line could not open up a hole for him last night.
Right.
And the one thing I think the one thing the differences I've seen between Jalen Wright and Achan is, Achan has the quick burst, but we talking long when you're talking longer distance, I think Jalen Wright has that. As far
Yeah,
as
I think, and well,
once he
I
gets
mean,
to the secondary level, that's it. There's no catching him.
Right.
I mean, right now, look at these guys. Don't even look at Hill or Waddle.
Right.
Don't look at OBJ. Look at Mostert, Achan, Wright, and Malik Washington. Those four guys right there.
Indeed.
And just think of what those four guys alone can do. And then you throw in Hill, Waddle, and OBJ out there, it's really going to be something to watch this year.
Right.
Yep. Because our number 2 is better than most teams' number 1. Our number 3 is better than most teams' number 2 or even number 1. Our number 4 is better than most teams' number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, we have a three-headed monster running back.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, like I said, last night, Malik Washington was being used as a running back in some ways.
Mhm.
But I can't wait to see this safety unit together with Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer. Oh man, Patrick Morris.
God,
If they make the team,
they're gonna be ball hogs, man. That secondary are gonna be ball hogs. I can't
no
wait.
fly zone. No fly zone. That's all I can say. No fly zone.
Man, I'm just excited. I'm really excited. I know we got 2 more weeks before the season starts, but whew.
Well, we have about 7 minutes left, guys. I do want to say join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll be on 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have any questions, bring them up to us. You want to join the panel, come on, join us, tomorrow morning. Shake, you got anything going on this week?
Yeah, I'm going tonight. I'm gonna do Insomnia, so I might. If I wake up early enough, I'll join you guys. This Wednesday we're gonna do we're gonna predict the storylines of the week of the year. We're gonna go through all 17 games and predict and guess the storylines and see if they. And so I'm gonna clip it and see if the storyline stays the same week to week. So I say that's gonna be our. That's the Smoke Lounge, and then Friday we're gonna do open panel as always. So
cool. Joe Riss says the fans have spoken. We want Duck.
You never lied. Yeah,
Storm Duck.
I love Storm Duck.
I love Crispy Duck.
Or just like I said, you've been ducked.
Mm-hmm.
He missed a few good plays. He missed a few plays last night. I don't know what happened, but he did make some good plays last night too. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's kind of crazy. We have a cheetah, a penguin, and now a duck.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. Because here's the thing, Tim. When Paul literally said his name for the press, I said, "Come on, man, that's not his real name." He said, "No, that's his real name," and I was like, "Wow, Storm Duck."
To be fair, last year we had ducks. Last year, when Mike White was coming in the game, he was throwing them all over the field.
Yeah, you're right. It was a whole bunch of
ducks. See, I have a shirt in mind having basically picture of Storm Duck standing over a player that he just tackled, but having a duck head and then having like a storm cloud behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, you've been ducked.
You've been ducked.
I like that.
Or you can sit there and watch out for the storm.
Yeah, that too.
Have the duck head on.
I got another one. Like when he tackles somebody, he forgot to duck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you forgot the duck.
I like that.
He's on the floor like this. He forgot to duck.
So yeah, we got 5 minutes left. Anything else before we go?
Just reading Joe here. Imagine getting cut because you don't have an emoji that people could use for you.
That's funny.
Oh. I want to thank everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Huddle Sports Network for joining us. And if you don't know, Huddle Sports Network is on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. And as of my last check, we are the only Dolphin podcast on Huddle Sports Network.
Yeah.
You can download the app onto your Roku or Amazon Fire Stick and watch us live on TV.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So it's don't know if we have anything special going on this week. We have our show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We have a show Monday afternoon at 5 p.m. and then Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Well, we do. We got CB83 coming on. So he said he wants to link up with us this week. So CB83, if you're listening to us, we want you on the show next Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday night, because we go from 8 until whenever. We're on Huddle Sports Network from 8 until 9. We just dropped the Huddle Sports Network and keep going with YouTube and everything else.
And
Instagram is only an hour also.
Right. And then we might be doing a podcast from the lobby on September 11th, right, Paul?
We will be doing a September 11th Wednesday, yes, because we're going to have a games night that Wednesday night also at the hotel.
There you go.
So we will be doing it from the lobby at the hotel. Then I got to get things all in order for all this because we got the show Saturday night, September 7th. Let me get the picture up for that. September 7th, 6 p.m. until whenever, in support of Richmond Webb for a Hall of Fame campaign. We'll have games, alumni appearance, autographs, food bar, podcast. Podcast starts right at 6, goes until at least 7. If could go later, it depends on how much fun we're having. Just going to be most of the podcasts, we're going to be talking to people on why they feel Richmond Webb should be in the Hall of Fame. So we can get all this information to the committee and push Richmond Webb into the semifinals and stuff. Or whatever it is, the finals for the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be there. He was the king of the O-line during his day.
Yeah, he should have been on there. He should have been Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, seven-time Pro Bowl, all-decade team. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But as someone said, your linemen just don't get recognized as much, even though they're the ones who protect the quarterback.
Yeah, OJ said that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had OJ on Wednesday night. He had a blast. He's like, yeah, next time I just can't stay 2 hours. I'm like, you didn't have to stay 2 hours tonight, but we appreciate you.
All right, so real quick, you could ask people name all pro wide receivers, all pro cornerbacks. They can name them, but they can never name all pro offensive linebackers.
Yeah, yep. And sorry to say, guys, we got to cut it off. It's right at that 7 o'clock. Everyone have a wonderful night. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Yes, sir. Fins up. Let's go.